by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Wahava Kakwadash. In Hebrew, that's giving praises to our Almighty Heavenly Father Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who is our Lord and Savior, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth. Honors to the brethren that's laboring doing the work to push the gospel, risking their life and freedom to do so. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of our people who are the true children of Israel, the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that sincerely returning back to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai during these final moments so that He will have mercy on us. So we back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and this is going to be a World War III update. Now, I'm not sure what number this is. It may be about 40. But, I do these to keep people updated on the war. Because the scriptures say that the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. Well, with these updates, that will help us that's in this spiritual gathering. We'll be well aware of the times and seasons that we in. But this is going to be titled, China is mobilizing tens of millions of its residents for war. And mobilization is pretty much when you start putting everything into place. Your tanks, your jet fighters, you start calling up your troops. Pretty much what Russia did before they invaded Ukraine. They had a massive mobilization act. China gonna start the same thing in March. So we're gonna let this video roll.
This on a daily basis. But we have some breaking news for you guys. China war mobilization law begins March 1st, 2023. This is a very significant news update, folks, because China is mobilizing reserve troops for war with the United States. Because that's their enemy, folks. China's enemy is the United States. That's the only enemy that they have. It's pretty much United States and India, but it seems like they settled their difference with India. So this news is coming in from Hal Turner. And before y'all guys go crazy over Hal Turner, folks, I have confirmed this information. This information is true that China signed a law last December 30th, 2022, authorizing the mobilization of their entire country. This covers their entire country, men and women, and this law will come into effect on March the 1st in just a little bit over a month. So let's go ahead and read this thing. So here is the law. This is in Chinese. And you can see the date here when this law was signed. It was signed December, here's 12, right here, 12/30/2022. So the law was signed last December the 30th, 2022. This is in Chinese, but folks, I got a treat for you. I'm going to translate this Chinese so you can read this. So a lot of people are going to say, well, you can't prove that this is true. Well, I'm going to prove it to you, folks. It's a real shame, though, that I have to prove everything that I do on my channel because a lot of people call me fake news. But, that's the day that we live in. You actually have to give proof. So I'm going to give proof that this law is true. And they actually did sign it. So it says the Communist Party, the CCP, has quietly passed its reserve military service law, which will take effect on March the 1st, 2023. Anyone who is 18 years or older is obliged to enlist after a national defense mobilization is announced. So once this law goes into effect across China, everyone in the entire country of 1.5 billion people, 1.5 billion people that is over 18 years or older is obliged to enlist in the national defense mobilization. So China.
So y'all heard that? China, a country of a population of 1.5 billion, and those that are 18 or older, men and women, gonna have to gonna sign up for this National Defense Mobilization Act.
It's going to mobilize their entire country of 1.5 billion people. How many reserve soldiers are they going to put together? Folks, this could be tens of millions of soldiers. Tens of millions of soldiers could be mobilized against a war with the United States. This is alarming news, folks, and we've been predicting something like this for a long time, that the United States is going to be going to war with China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and it's coming to pass right before your very eyes.
Yeah, call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So we're going to get into some scriptures now. All right, so first we're going to hit Jeremiah chapter 50. And we're going to start at verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So let's start with the first few lines. The Lord says, I will raise. So China, going back about 30 years ago, they wouldn't consider a superpower. So the Lord raised up this country, China, even Iran. We know just 20 years ago, under George Bush, Iran wasn't considered a superpower. Now they got nuclear weapons. They supplied those killer suicide drones to Russia, which was tearing up Ukraine. Even the Middle East is stepping up. North Korea wasn't a superpower 20 years ago. Now they shoot nuclear missiles like they regular bullets. So the Lord raised up these countries in terms of power and military might and weaponry. The Lord raised them up for the sole purpose of coming up against Babylon, which is America. And these are great nations. What makes you a great nation? If you got nuclear arms. So China, Iran, North Korea, Russia. And they're going to set themselves in array against her. Setting yourselves in array is pretty much battle formation. Like a game of chess. They're going to set themselves in battle array against her. So this is the part we want to focus on. And matter of fact, y'all know recently it was some kind of strange object in the sky. They say it was a Chinese spy balloon, which we never heard of before. But anyways, let's say if that was a Chinese spy balloon, what was that spy balloon looking for? How could China benefit from spying on the U.S.? So, for example, they could be looking for key entry points on how to invade America. You know, where at along the coast of America is a weak point where they can invade by water. And, you know, bringing their ground forces to use our infrastructure to navigate throughout the U.S. You know, looking at major highways, major roads, or looking at America's airspace. What part of America's airspace got the least amount of air travel, where they could fly helicopters and jet fighters and drop their soldiers from the air? And you know, United States took forever to shoot it down, which they did like 2 or 3 days later. But that was enough time for China to scope out America all around. And we see that, you know, this happened just last week. Now we see this week, China is planning to mobilize its entire adult population beginning March 1st. So first came the spy balloon. Now they about to mobilize their entire country. So that tells you if that actually was a Chinese spy balloon, they got what they needed to make their move. And you gotta ask yourself, when China does go to war with America, where is this war going to take place? Because right now, America is at war with Iran in the Middle East. Where are they fighting at? In the Middle East. America is at war indirectly with Russia. Where are they fighting at? Ukraine. So if America goes to war with China, where is that war going to be fought at? Is it going to be fought in Taiwan? That could be, one of the places they fight. But the main battle is not going to be in Taiwan. Is the war going to take place in China? China not going to let nothing American come that way. So where is this war going to take place at when China goes to war with America? It's going to take place in America. America has never had a war on her soil. So when China does go to war with America, it's going to take place in America. They got to fight somewhere. It ain't going to happen in China. Taiwan is too small to fight a war there. China is going to bring that war to America, which is the perfect plan. Why the spy balloon was over here? Why the spy balloon wasn't over Taiwan? They ain't thinking about Taiwan. Out of all the places in the world, the spy balloon over here, because they're going to bring the war here. That's why it says that the Lord will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, America, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. So they're going to put themselves in battle formation, not against Taiwan, not against Ukraine, not against the Middle East, but against America, against her. And when you see this her, you can think of the Statue of Liberty, the Great Whore. So that's where this next war is going to take place. And let's go to Ezekiel chapter 38. We're going to hit verse 10 real quick. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. So, out of Russia, Gog and Magog, China, North Korea, the Middle East, either one of them or all of them gonna have this idea, and they're gonna pass it along to each other. That's that evil thought that's gonna come to mind. And what's that evil thought going to be? Verse 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. Now, a village is it's an ancient way of describing a city. We don't necessarily have villages, but we have cities. And in the ancient world, the cities, which were villages, they had boundaries, they had borders, they had walls to protect the cities, to protect the villages. America ain't got no wall. It's just like America is like one big, great, giant city. It's never ending. From the east to the west, from the north to the south. The length of some of these roads go from state to state. So America is that land of unwalled villages. Not only that, America on its east and west coast, and the majority of the southern coast, is open. No borders, no walls. It's completely open for land, water, and air invasion. So let's start this over and continue. And thou shalt say, that evil thought that's going to come to mind, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest. Ain't you Americans at rest? Ain't y'all the most carefree people in the world? Living your best life, off on the weekends, girls' night out, hanging with the bros. So they're going to say, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls. Yeah, because the whole country of America is dwelling without walls. This ain't talking about your house. This talking about your cities, your villages, your country. And having neither bars nor gates. So America is open for the taking. So that's that evil thought that's going to come to the mind of these countries. And it looked like China had the idea first, which is why the spy balloon was over here, which is now they mobilizing their entire adult population over the age of 18 because they look like they're going to be the first one to have this evil thought to come up to this land of unwalled villages, America. Now, going up to verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come up like a storm. So, China is way on the other side of the world. So, for them to come invade this place, they're going to have to ascend, meaning take flight. You know, they jet fighters, they Air Force, they're going to ascend and come like a storm to America. And that's a saying in the world. When bad times are approaching, somebody might say a dark storm is approaching or a storm is brewing. So yeah, those who come invade America, that's going to be the dark storm that's brewing for America. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. So it might be a land and water invasion, but it look like the majority of them going to come by air. And it's going to be like a cloud to cover the land. Like when evening is approaching, you see all the birds lined up on the building and they be flying in a mass number, you know, filling up the sky. That's what this invasion going to be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands, meaning the armies and many people with thee. So this is that coming invasion. Because remember, going back to Jeremiah, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon and assembly of great nations from the north country. They shall set themselves in array against her. And once they set themselves in battle formation against America, then what? From thence she shall be taken. So once them countries set themselves in position to invade this place, America is already done for. She's already checkmated. So America is going to lose this war but before it's even brought to her, because America is a powerful country in terms of military, but all their weapons and all of Europe's weapons has been going to Ukraine against Russia. And then you got American bases all over the world. They all over there in the Middle East. They're going to be all over there with Taiwan and South Korea. So America is going to be wide open. And not only that, once China make their move against America, what North Korea going to do? North Korea going to pop off too. North Korea is going to take South Korea and they going to handle Japan. So America going to have to balance out fighting in Ukraine, fighting in the Middle East, fighting in Taiwan, fighting in South Korea, fighting in Japan, and fighting a battle on American soil. She's not going to be able to maintain all that. So that's why it says, from thence she shall be taken. Now going back to Ezekiel 38, we can come to verse 12. What was they coming to do once they come to America? To take a spoil, and to take a prey, and to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited. Yeah, because the places are desolate, but they're inhabited right now. That's like the Lord that's like if you tell somebody you a dead man walking. Like in the near future, you're gonna be dead, but you're alive walking for now. That's what the Lord is saying about America. It's a dead place functioning. It's gonna be desolate, but for now it's inhabited. And upon the people that are gathered out of all the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So this America will be that people that's gathered out of all nations. And what are they gathered out of these nations for? To come to America to get cattle and goods, pretty much merchandise and riches. So this place, its people, the goods of America is going to be taken. And going back to Jeremiah 50, in verse 9, when it says, I will raise a cause and cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations. They shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Key word is array. Let's scroll down a little bit to about verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. That's his place being surrounded. North, south, east, and west, and by the air. All ye that bend the bow. What's a bow? It's a nuclear missile. Shoot at her and spare no arrows, spare no missiles. For she hath sinned against the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. How did this place sin against the Lord? By sinning against his people, pushing lies, deceit, misinformation, and abominations all over the earth. Let's read this last one. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For this is the vengeance of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Take vengeance upon her. As she have done, do unto her. Then America go all over the world, taking a spoil everywhere they went, killing everybody. Well, it's going to be done to her and her people. And that's why Psalm 16:8, Moab is my washpot. We know that's China, North Korea. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. In the Blue Letter Bible, washpot means for something to bubble up or to boil you over. Like when you cooking a soup, if it get too hot, it'll boil you over or bubble up. So China is going to cause things to get heated on the world scene. They're going to take the stakes to a new level by what? Coming to America. That's Moab, China being the washpot, stirring everything up. That's going to cause all these other countries to also come at America and invade this place. So that's World War III update. I think number 40. If not, but China is mobilizing tens of millions of its population to come up against America. Now let's play with some numbers. I got my calculator. So 1.5 billion of everybody that's 18 and up. So half of that is 750 million. So let's put 750 million in the calculator. And we got 750 million, which is half of 1.5 billion if we take away the kids and take away the elderly. So guessing the adult population is about half the population. Well, let's say they mobilize 1% of their adult population. 1% of the adult population is what? 7.5 million. Let's say they mobilize 4% of its adult population. 4% of its adult population will be 30 million troops. So tens of millions of Chinese troops, could be getting ready to invade America. Even if it's not 30 million, even if it's just 11 million, America can't stand up to that. So this place is finished. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.
CTV. He stated that during a hypothetical war, U.S. aircraft carriers would be within kill range of Chinese missiles the moment they enter the South China Sea. He went on to explain China would also attack the airport where U.S. airplanes take off, destroy American aircraft carriers for sure, and then upgrade the conflict to a nuclear war. In the end, Fang challenged the U.S., asking whether Washington really wanted to wage a nuclear war with China and destroy the Earth in the process. This isn't the first time Fang has discussed taking Taiwan under Beijing's control by any means necessary.